Green Bay is hitting the road this week for a monster game with the Vikings. NFC North supremacy on the line. We've got our predictions, of course, but first some numbers to help you come up with your predictions. These teams really are so evenly matched in so many ways that it's best simply to go through them one by one, starting with the fact both teams feature elite running backs.
Still on his feet, Jones all the way in!
Aaron Jones has 14 rushing TDs on the season and is averaging 4.4 yards per carry, and has been at the heart of many of Green Bay's wins this season. Same can be said of Dalvin Cook, who has 13 rushing TDs himself, though his status is up in the air after he re-injured his shoulder. Mike Boone filled in nicely, but it's worth noting, Cook and Jones were both prominent in their first matchup that was a one-score affair, so not having Cook would clearly be detrimental to Minnesota. That would then put a little extra pressure on Kirk Cousins, who is continuing to put up big numbers.
They fake the pitch, Cousins throws, end zone, grabbed by Irv Smith.
Cousins didn't have to do too much last week, but even his somewhat average stat line didn't detract from what are very solid numbers. His passer rating specifically third best, his 70.5 completion percentage also third best. His play of late, compared to how he was playing the first time they faced off, is probably the biggest difference between now and then. It was shortly thereafter that Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen voiced their frustrations, the offense incorporated more play action and bootlegs, and we're looking at a team that's gone 8-2 in its last 10 games. And the QB who has the stat line most similar to Cousins, his counterpart in Green Bay.
Gonna float it down the seam, Adams has it, and he's in!
Aaron Rodgers was able to find Davante Adams with regularity last week, and on the season, Rodgers has quietly put together a stat line most any QB would take. A passer rating of 100.4 and 24 TD passes against just 2 picks. And even though Cousins threw an interception last week, he only has 5 on the season, him and Rodgers both rating in the top 5 of lowest interception rate. So neither QB has been careless with the ball, which will be important because both defenses have excelled at taking it away.
It's going to be intercepted, actually, by Jair Alexander.
The Packers D picked Mitch Trubisky off 2 times, and on the season, they are 7th in takeaways. Minnesota's D, almost a mirror image.
Rivers running out of time, now puts it up in the air, it's intercepted at midfield. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
The Vikings came up with 3 interceptions last week and are ranked 4th in takeaways for the season. And then there's the red zone similarities. The Vikings 4th when it comes to keeping teams from scoring a TD in the red zone. The Packers 1 spot behind them. The Packers offense, meantime, is 2nd at putting up 6 after they cross the 20. And yes, the Vikings offense is right next to them there as well. So it's a classic case of anything you can do, I can do better, or just as well. But how close do our projections project it to be?
Boom, again, and boom, diving into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.